Hey, what's up YouTube? In part 1, we made the outside building for our trampoline park jump world. In part 2, aka this part, we will be heading inside of our trampoline park and making the entire interior. To follow this video along, you will have to have completed the first part first. If you haven't done that, check out the card system, the description below and the top of the comment section for part 1 of our trampoline park, and once you have built exactly what I have behind me, we can then head on in and get this party started. To begin, ladies and gentlemen, here are all of the materials that we are going to be using throughout the build. Please do make sure that you have access to all of those materials and enough of them as well. I do want to note, with the carpets in particular, we are going to be using pretty much every single color of carpet. So it's not just that one color of carpet that you can see in the item list, we will be using all of them, and that's pretty much the only note that I have for you. So gather all that stuff. Once you have all that stuff, we can get this done. Step 1, we are going to build a lot around the entrance. I want you to grab your yellow concrete, and behind the bottom right hand corner of the entrance here, I want you to place a row of 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. A row of 8 yellow concretes extending out from the bottom of the entrance. We have to do this in 2 more places. We have to do this here on the opposite side of the door. We have to have a row of 8. And also a little bit further back, we want to also extend this row of yellow across as well. This is going to do a few different things that I'll outline as we get there. However, one of the more important rows of yellow is the last one that we placed. We want to take the last block in the row and extend it upwards by 3. 1, 2, 3. We then want to place a purple concrete behind it, and then extend the purple concrete to the left by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, using yellow concrete. We then want to join it down to the ground. We want to take that yellow concrete and we want to extend it forwards by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we want to join it down to the ground. We want to extend it by 6, the 5th block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you should see that that lines up perfectly with this row over here. And we want to join this row of yellow concrete down to the ground. Now, what's important about this is we then want to add a layer of purple concrete directly behind the entire row of yellow that we made, except we don't want the purple to come all the way to the end here. We just want the purple to just kind of like sit inside of the empty space. And then we want to connect it all the way up to the ceiling like this, and that is going to kind of like section off one part of the trampoline park from the other. You can also join this yellow concrete here all the way up to the ceiling as well. And in addition to that, you can do that here as well. So just opposite here, you can place a row of yellow that kind of like joins all the way up to the ceiling. I want you to place 2 rows of iron bars, so 1 and 2 just here across this part, because again, this is the entrance, so we kind of like want this part to almost be a little bit separate from the actual large the trampoline part that we have. We actually have a step up as well, so you can join these 2 layers of yellow that we kind of made here. You can join them together using a row of 5 quartz stairs like this. We have to dig out all of this area too, so I guess that we should probably get that started. All of this area is going to be, I'm going to use cyan terracotta for this, which is essentially grey. It's kind of like a variant that you can use instead of using grey concrete, light grey or otherwise. And it just seemed, it's kind of dark in here, eh? It just seemed as though a good, it just seemed like a nice sort of alternate than having like a white floor or any other color really. Like grey is just kind of like nice and neutral, and it does just kind of go with the purple and the yellow. Especially considering we actually have a bit of grey in the build already in the form of the outside. It's the base of the building, but I didn't just want to use light grey concrete because it almost looks This might sound a little bit weird. It almost looks a little bit too cartoony sometimes, the light grey concrete, which is, and I don't know how else to describe it. It doesn't look real, almost like it just looks weird. I don't know how else to say it, but we're using the cyan terracotta, and I think that that's a pretty good choice. And I'm just going to slap a couple more torches down as well. We will be getting all of our light, or most of our light, from the actual skylight. So until then, we are going to rely heavily upon our torches. The only little detail that we can add here as well is we can kind of connect the top left corner of this window here across, just like this. And let me get that out and grab the purple concrete again. And you can kind of make some dividing points behind here too, so you can actually kind of like add a layer of purple behind the bottom layer of yellow concrete, and you can kind of just make these almost what might you call them, maybe like cubby holes behind this particular area. We will be focusing on this a little bit more heavily later, but that's basically just like where you're going to be able to get those special like trampoline socks and stuff. So oh, and we can also just pop a quartz stairs on the desk area sort of here too, and I don't think that there's much else we can actually do with our current set of materials, but we've actually made a pretty decent start here. I think I like what we've done here. Okay, so now we have to kind of figure out how we are going to divide up the space that we have. So we're actually going to grab our yellow concrete here, and we're going to take the bottom corner of like where this yellow concrete is connected with all of the iron bars and stuff. We're going to take this yellow concrete, we're going to extend it back, and we're going to join it to the corner here. So if that makes sense, we want to extend it back and join it to the corner before it starts folding inwards. We're going to take this end row of yellow and extend it upwards by, I think it's 2, 3. It should be as high as the window. That's perfect. We also want to have another row of yellow just like that one, and if we start from the front of this row here, we want to find the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th block here. 1, 2, 3. There we go, with the yellow concrete. And what we're going to do here is we're going to take the bottom block and extend it left and right by 2, and we're going to take the middle block and extend it left and right by 1. We're going to take the end here, and we're going to take this row of 3 and extend the bottom block left by 2, and the second block left by 1 to give us this effect. Okay, so these yellow concretes here, we actually want to also connect this corner of yellow just across here. We kind of like want to join it together, so it's kind of like a rectangular shape, and we want that same yellow concrete pattern that we've kind of created. It almost looks like a little pyramid like this. It kind of reminded me of a Christmas tree despite the fact that it's yellow, and we kind of want to create the same sort of shape. And you can connect the top together like this, the tops together, and these are basically just those things that you can kind of like run upon and jump off and stuff. And we're going to join the elevated blocks together using black wool. There's a reason that we're using wool instead of concrete. Number one, wool gives a pretty nice texture. It's not too bad. Oh, and also, it gives a pretty nice texture. It's not too bad. And by the way, here we also want to have like the same yellow concrete that we have just here, and then that will allow us to once again just kind of like feed some black wool just across, just like this. And the reason that we're also doing the wool is because we want to use slime to actually make this bouncy. We want to actually be able to use this as a trampoline park, so we want to be able to bounce. So to do that, we're going to use slime everywhere else. Like, we can't use slime on the sides because we won't be able to cover them up, but we can use it on flat surfaces and fill the top of it in using black carpet. So they do not make black concrete carpet, so wool will do. Plus, I actually it is a good texture for the actual like trampoline material, because trampolines, of course, they're not exactly like straight up smooth. They've kind of got a little bit of a texture to them, so the wool actually works out very well in this case. And that's kind of like our first little trampoline. That's our first little trampoline area, and you can test it if you like. You can jump off and you could do some bouncing. Very good. Okay, So now that we've completed that set of trampolines, we are going to work our way just behind and we're going to grab our orange concrete. We want to place a layer of orange concrete behind these trampolines. The orange concrete wants to be one row off of the ground like this. So one row off the ground, in line with the thick part of the trampoline, we want a row of orange concrete that spans the back of the trampoline, heading all the way to this corner here. And the orange concrete is going to continue, and it's going to hit the back wall, and it's also going to extend across with the goal of connecting all the way back to where it started. So essentially, we want to create a rather large rectangular-ish shape like this. Now, what we then want to do is we want to divide this area up in a few different ways. So we want to focus on this view first of all, and we want to place 1, 2, 3 slime extending across like this with an orange concrete. We want to do this 3 times. So 1, 2, 3 slime, orange concrete. 1, 2, 3 slime, orange concrete. And then this part is not going to be bouncy. You can extend the orange concretes towards the back of the build. So you can extend it, it's actually the front of the build, you can extend it towards the front wall of the build, like this. And we want to take those slimes and we want to extend them 1, 2, 3 rows inwards with an orange concrete on the end. 1, 2, 3 rows, 4 rows inwards, sorry. So you want to have 4 in total because we already had 1 here. So 4, and then you want to stick an orange on the end. And that orange can actually be extended all the way through like this. You can extend it all the way through, and you can also extend the orange like that. So essentially what you're looking to create is kind of like a grid sort of effect, like so. Just like this. So that's looking pretty good. Oh, and also just straight through here as well. It's easy to miss 1 or 2. So all of the big areas can be filled in using slime blocks. These are going to be the floor parts of these trampolines. These trampolines are a little bit different than the ones we've made before. They have a couple of similarities in that number 1, it's kind of got like a bouncy floor portion. Number 2, there's a part against the wall. But where this does differ is that the trampolines are, and by the way, on top of the slime you want to place your black carpet, but it differs in the fact that they're all kind of like separated a little bit so everybody can kind of get their own little trampoline. It's a bigger area in general, and the wall portion curves around as well, so it's a little bit different. It's a pretty cool part of the build. And if you were to Google or even go to a trampoline park at all, then you would more than likely see this sort of formation that I've kind of like created for you here. So it's a little bit tedious placing all of this black carpet and all this slime and stuff, but this is what the floor plan should look like so far. So that's looking pretty good, right? Excellent. So what are we going to do next? We are going to raise up the orange concrete that touches the wall. We're going to raise it up by 1, 2, 3. It'll actually come all the way underneath the windows. So these are the 2 rows of orange concrete, the long rows that join and connect against the wall just like this. And this is pretty much how high these sides are going to be. There we go. We want to create kind of like the same as we kind of like did earlier, where we have this kind of like graduation. On top of all of the empty rows, we kind of want to place 1, 2, 1. So we kind of want to create that same graduation using orange concrete, where we have all of the other rows of orange like this. And this is, again, that's just kind of like the curved out part. That's the wall. This it's not actually bouncy. You want to place black wool in between all of the orange like this, and that applies to the top and it applies to the bottom as well, like so here, and also here, and here, and here. That's looking pretty good. So nice. There we are. Perfect. I want you to now grab your that part's pretty much done, by the way. I mean, later on we'll be adding a little bit of decoration in the form of paintings, but we want to grab our yellow concrete and we kind of want to divide the room. So I want you to take this yellow concrete here. I want you to grab your new one, and I want you to place a long row of yellow concrete that kind of like goes all the way from one side to the other. In addition to that, we're going to grab our quartz stairs. We're going to place, starting from the very first orange concrete here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 quartz stairs extending across, sticky yellow concrete on the end. That might change a little bit, but we're going to extend that yellow concrete backwards. It's going to hit that wall, and then what we will be able to do is, I'll just remove this torch, we'll be able to make a big walkway that leads all the way from one end, all the way to the other end. So this is almost, we've almost kind of like done half of the build, ladies and gentlemen. We've almost done half of the build. We've made a lot of trampolines already. So this is the kind of like, it's just an easy way to divide the room up. That left side is a bit simpler. It's got some less specialized trampolines. You can kind of just go there and have a good time. This right side, it's a little bit bigger. I'm going to grab some torches. Oh, torches! Can I have some torches? Until we do the ceiling lights, we do just have to deal with this, but it's okay. It's okay. We can deal with some artificial light. There we go. Perfect. So now that that side's done, we're going to flip our attention over to this side, and we've kind of like worked our way up, and then we'll work our way back down again as well. Kind of, hopefully in kind of like a logical way. So we're going to start this off by taking this end here, this yellow concrete. Oh, and also you can connect the yellow concrete if you want to the side like that, so it can kind of like ride all the way up that side. So it looks like it's all connected together. On top of this corner yellow concrete here, I want you to place a yellow concrete, and then 2 quartz stairs extending like towards the front of the build. Place a yellow concrete on the end and extend it up by 1. I want you to extend that yellow concrete backwards by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and extend upwards by 1. Extend to the right, the front of the build, by 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then extend up by 1. And then extend back towards the main pathway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I want you to extend down, and I also want you to extend up by 2. 1, 2. There we go. And then we're going to take that second block and extend towards the front of the build by 4, I do believe. I want to say, I hope it's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hang on, does that make sense? Yes, it does, because it lines up just below. Thank goodness. And then we are going to extend it all the way to this wall here. So that will give us a shape that should look like that. And that might not look like anything now, but we're going to join these 4 blocks that I wasn't sure was correct all the way down to the ground. We're also going to extend the long row all the way across as well. So all of this row we're just going to extend across. We're going to create what one might call a dividing wall between this particular part of the trampoline park and the rest of it. And it's just going to be quite a large structure in general, really. So there we go. That's looking pretty good. So we've created kind of like a big box, really. What we're going to do, well, I want to take the very first yellow concrete that we placed here, and we're just going to make it high. We're going to add 1, 2 on top of it. We're going to join it all the way to the back wall here, and then we're going to add 2 more. 1, 2, like that. There would be torches here, wouldn't there? We're going to extend the yellow concrete all the way across, just like this. And again, I really wish we would have done all the ceiling lights first, but it's actually so much easier to do it after the fact, after all of this is placed in. Okay, so we extend that yellow concrete all the way to this back wall here. That's perfect. There's a few different places that we want to play. Oh, and by the way, the yellow concrete that joins this wall here specifically, you're going to want to add a few rows underneath it, kind of like trending down towards the ground. You'll also want to do the same sort of thing here too. Just like 1, and then 2, just like that. That's perfect. There we go. And the reason being is because this is a walkway, so we want to add another row of quartz stairs just up and behind the original layer. We want to add another row of quartz stairs at the back here. We also want to add another layer of quartz stairs here as well, just like this. That's perfect. And we're just going to place, I mean, if you want, by the way, you can make all this bouncy. I didn't for myself, but you can. You can make all this floor bouncy using, of course, the slime blocks. So anywhere that we would have this flat surface that I was otherwise just going to pretty much, I was just going to place some black carpet or actually black wool, and it wasn't going to be bouncy, but you can do that. There's absolutely no reason why you can't. And of course, if you're going to place the slime, you can place the carpet on top. If you want to vary, and by the way, let's make this a little bit, there we go, just to make it a little bit more shaped, kind of like that. I think that looks pretty good, and maybe we'll kind of like line this up here just to make that look a little bit better. We've got some gaps and stuff to fill in too, if you haven't noticed, like around here, for instance, like this should be purple, like we should have like another layer of purple all the way around the top. I don't really like that kind of like exposed yellow concrete look. So I think that because the purple contrasts nicely against the yellow, it's nice to have some separation between the wall and the ceiling, kind of like that. I think that looks a little bit better look, or at least I think so anyway. And anyway, on top of all that, we can just continue to fill this all in. I wish carpet wasn't so annoying to place. I don't know why it is. I swear it didn't used to be. Look at the carpet bouncing. It didn't used to be bad to place, but every time I place it now, like it doesn't seem to flow properly. Like as you're placing it, like you can see how it stacks up occasionally. Like it's almost as if the placing speed is off a little bit in relation to the what would you call it? Like the scrolling speed of your character. But maybe I'm just complaining. I don't know. Sorry if I am. We're going to place all this carpet here. It's very dark, of course. There we go. That's not looking too bad at all. So what can you do from there? Well, you can connect all of the yellow concretes down to the ground. Originally, I did just use yellow, but you can use a contrast color, so purple if you wanted to, or any other. You could connect all of this yellow concrete down to the ground with. Let's join this all down. I might even, because this is a bit smaller, because of the floor discrepancy, I think that I'm going to make the jumping pit like this. I think I'm going to set it one block down, and then that way you'll actually jump a bit higher because you'll fall a bit further. So that'll be cool. So that will mean that we've just got to add some extra yellow concretes here at the side like this. These sides, just like so. Whoop, there we go. Excellent, there we are. That's looking pretty good. And then we're going to place a couple of torches here and here, just like this. And then all of this will be filled in with different colors of carpet. So we're not actually going to fill that in at that point. We've actually got another thing that's kind of sort of like this that's going to be getting placed down there. But with all of that, like with placing some carpet, that actually looks really, really cool. If you want to make it a tad more modern, what you can do is you can add some cutouts. What do I mean by cutouts? Well, you can literally cut out some of this and you can place a bit of purple concrete behind it. If you want to, it depends how crazy you want to get, you know, you don't need to add that at all. You might think that looks better, or you might not, it's up to you. I don't think that looks too bad. I'm not going to do it all over the place though. So the way that this functions, of course, is that we can, we bounce now, we can just kind of like walk up here, boom, boom, we can jump into the pit, we can get some cool height and stuff, so it's just kind of like a fun part of the build. We're now going to drop down. Now that we've done that, ladies and gentlemen, remember that'll all be filled in with different colours of carpet. We're going to drop down to this point. What we're going to do at this point, first, we're going to grab that yellow concrete again. We're going to run a row of yellow concrete, opposite side of where the quartz stairs are. We're going to run the yellow concrete across, and it's kind of going to divide the area as such. We're going to leave a gap of 6, so, or better yet, we can place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 slime blocks with a yellow concrete on the end, and you want to extend that yellow concrete inwards by 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like this, and we want to join it to this wall, and then we want to continue extending the yellow across, hit that wall, and we want to extend it across like this, and across like this, so we really are dividing it up like that. We're going to fill all this in using slime. So this is all bouncy. This is all going to... We're not going to fill it in with carpet just yet, actually, because we've got a couple of cool things that we're going to add, and then we can add the carpet around the things, but it just makes sense instead of having to destroy carpets and stuff. So what is this particular part, you might be wondering to yourself? So this is going to have kind of like 2 basketball hoops, because in my research, I've not actually been to a trampoline park. Although I would like to go, to be honest with you. I just feel as though that I'm just too old. I think I'd probably be a little bit out of place. That probably shouldn't stop me going. It looks so much fun. It's probably worth it. But in my research, I found that quite often it's kind of fun to play like trampoline basketball. Like you can get some cool height. So we're going to need grey concrete for this, block of quartz, red concrete. We'll need the quartz stairs as well. We need web and some smooth stone slabs. And these basketball hoops are going to be placed on the ends here, in the middle of these trampolines, kind of like this. We're going to have a row of 1, 2, 3, 4 grey concrete, 1, 2, 3, 4 grey concrete. We're going to have smooth stone slabs on the end. We're going to place red concretes extending outwards from the grey concrete. We're going to place block of quartz on top and to the sides of the red concrete like this. And we're going to then place in the corners, we're going to place some quartz stairs like this. And we're going to stick cobwebs extending out from the red concretes like this. And that's looking pretty good. They're basically the hoops. And then if you wanted to, you just place a couple of faux basketballs. Faux meaning fake. Just a couple of orange concretes just to help further visualize what's supposed to go on. I want to add some monkey bars too, because again, that also seems like something that's way more fun on trampolines. The amount of times that I hurt myself on an actual playground on like concrete, on actual monkey bars, I would much rather have had a trampoline below me. So we're going to have some monkey bars. They're going to start 1 row inwards from both sides, kind of like this, on this long patch here. It's blue concrete, and they're 4 rows high, so 1, 2, 3, just like this. Join them together. No, we don't join them together at the top. We're going to use the end rods. And then we're going to extend the blue concretes across, and they're going to join down kind of like on the opposite point, like this. So just like so. There we go. And there we go. And then all we're going to do is we're going to place end rods, 1 gap, 1 gap, 1 gap, 1 gap, 1 gap, 1, just like this in between. This will create some light, and they also look like actual monkey bars, right? I mean, that's kind of, it's making me want to make a playground, honestly. I haven't made I need to make another playground, don't I? Maybe I do. Anyway, okay, so they're just some monkey bars, and now we can fill it all in with the black concrete. Black carpet, not black concrete. We can fill it all in with the black carpet like this, and we've kind of just completed another portion of our trampoline park. We only have one large portion of the fun stuff, the trampolines and stuff to make. After we have done that, after we've done that next part that I keep talking about that we've not started yet, we just have some details to make. So quite a few details towards the front of the build, like the entire reception area pretty much has to be done. We have to whip out a lot of different carpets for 2 parts of the trampoline park that needs filling in. We need to add some ceiling stuff too. We need to add some skylights in. I don't think that we're going to make them very complicated. I think that we're basically just going to I'll show you the sort of technique that you can use to make some skylights, and then I think that I'll let you guys figure out whether you want to add them, or maybe if you want to add some artificial light, that would be fine as well. I like skylights a lot because obviously just having like fake light, there's something about it that I just don't like. But of course, if it's nighttime, then it's 100% necessary. So that's this little area down here. I think it synergizes quite well with that part just up above it. And once you've done all of that, that leaves just this little empty area here now, doesn't it? So this area is pretty cool. What we're going to need to make it, well, we will need the yellow concrete. As usual, you can change that colour, by the way. Quartz stairs, slime blocks, black carpet, and we will also need a little bit of black stained glass paint. And I'll tell you what, we'll grab the paintings as well, a bit preemptive. So this area here, it's similar to that area at the top, but it's on a bit of a smaller scale. So we're going to be placing, just opposite this corner of yellow concrete here, we're going to be placing a yellow concrete against the wall and extend it towards the front of the build, 1, 2, 3. Stick quartz stairs on the end, 1, 2, yellow concrete on the end of that. The yellow concrete's going to extend up, and then it's going to extend across by 1, 2, 3, 4. then it's going to extend up, and then it's going to hit this wall here. So it's just going to look like that. That's looking pretty good. Or do we want to? We might even extend it a little bit further, shall we? Nah, I think that that's perfectly fine, actually. So the yellow concretes, we can actually extend them down. So these yellow concretes, we can actually extend them down. These end concretes, so to speak. We might even add another... Nah, we won't add another cutout. We'll leave it as is. And then I also want to place some yellow concrete kind of like on the end against the wall that is parallel to the yellow concrete that we placed like this earlier, just like so. And then we can place some slime here, here, and here on the flat bits, and we can place the quartz stairs on the graduations. So here as well, then here, and then here too. So we'll have something that should look like that, which looks pretty good, I think. I think that we're going to set the slime one row down again. You could even set a little bit lower, but you've got to make sure that you can actually get up onto this point. So I'm just going to dig out. Yeah, just like that, and then we'll add, just some more slime like this. We'll still be able to get up to here. Yeah, but you can just jump if need be anyway, so we're just going to add all this slime here, there, and that will be filled in with multicolored carpet. But the rest of it, all of this, is going to be black carpet, because it's the black carpet almost represents where you're supposed to walk and stuff, and it is just kind of, I don't know, it's kind of like almost the default sort of like floor material at this point in time for a good chunk of the trampolines and trampoline park. So we want to have something which should look like, what's a good view, like that, and that'll all be nice and colourful. This area here, I actually like the idea of chunking it out, so I'm going to knock out 2 rows here, and I'm going to replace this with glass. So this opens up a little bit of light, and it's kind of cool because once you're up here, you kind of get a different view. You can kind of like check out, oh, who's coming in? I kind of like that. I want to add some paint. So I noticed a lot of these places have like loads of posters and stuff around, and just like loads of pictures and signs. So to kind of, I was going to say combat that, but I don't know why I use the word to kind of like emulate that. I just want to place like a... Not that big. I just want to place like a load of paintings and stuff to kind of like... How about that? No? No. Kind of like the... No! There we go. Perfect. So I just want to place just some like paintings and stuff kind of like all over the place. I'm going to add some fake light in as well, so maybe like around here, for instance, in here. Wherever it makes sense, I'm going to add some fake light if I can kind of just sneak some in into certain places, because it's very dark without the skylights, and at night I don't want it to be dark either, to be honest. Like, I want it to be well lit, because what if you want to come to the trampoline park at night? So that's kind of like a cool place to add some. Where else can we add some? There we go. Where else can we add some? We can add some more paintings back here, for instance. So I'm having to place kind of like a buffer block, so that the paintings don't kind of like get out of control. So maybe like here. That's not a bad formation of them. And what about, say, here as well? So like this. I'll of course have to remove the slime. I think that goes with so much karate being done on this particular back wall. So here, and what? Why would it be the same one? Yeah, that's fine, that's fine. So, just to kind of like represent, it adds a little bit of a nice little colour palette as well, like about the place, like adding the paintings kind of like breaks the walls up a bit, which I quite like, and we can just add some more torches here and there as well. So, we have some over there, we have some over there. I think that looks pretty good. You could even have some... maybe just on this point, if you wanted to, so like, that's fine, that's fine, it doesn't matter having a big one, that's okay. Yeah, it could even feed onto that little wall with the thing in there too. That's not looking too bad. I actually quite like that. So we've done a huge, ladies and gentlemen, we've done like a really good amount now of the trampoline park. all of the practical stuff is mainly done. What we now have to do is add details to kind of like the entrance area and then add some skylights and stuff. So I figured that we should probably do exactly that. So what do we need to work on the reception that we already have with us? We need weighted pressure plates, flower pots, flowers, chests, item frames. We need sea lanterns. We're going to need light grey shulker boxes, and grey shulker boxes will also need armor stands. So, next to the quartz stairs that we have here, I'm going to stick a weighted pressure plate. I'm also going to stick a flower pot on here too. Not with a chest on it, with a flower in it. That's just to make the countertop look a little bit nicer. In all of these cubby holes, I am going to place chests. And above the chests are going to have item frames, and the item frames will have some socks and stuff in them, boots. I'm going to place some item frames kind of like laid about the countertop here, and I'm going to place some sea lanterns just up above to create a little bit of light, and it's kind of like a cool effect as well. I guess what we could also do is we can add, for detail, we can add like another flower pot just like back here. And we can kind of like fill in some gaps, so we can kind of like make a small space between the counter and this back wall here, and we can place some purple concrete in between the sea lanterns, kind of like this. That's looking pretty good. What are these spaces meant to be? Well, just kind of like lockers and stuff to store your stuff in. So, for instance, here I might stick an armor stand in the middle, and I might just create some lockers made out of shulker boxes of both varieties. So, the lockers will also have item frames in the tops, and we just want some of these all the way around. So maybe like one here, and maybe like one here. I don't think you have to think about them too much. Actually, it would be better if the armor stand was there. We can have two armor stands, it doesn't even matter. We can have some here, some here. The cool part, by the way, about the shulker boxes as well is they are actual storage too. You can actually put stuff in them if you wanted to. Why are we placing the item frames? The reason being is because we can kind of use a little bit grey concrete. And it looks kind of like those things that, sort of almost like those things that you kind of like twist and turn for the combination for your locker. Or at least I think so. We can add some more torches kind of like around some of the corner points here. So here and here. Just kind of like in here. There we go. That's not looking too bad. Perhaps we could add a whole strip of paintings just up above here too. That is going to require us... Oh no. We're going to have to place them all here. And... where's the painting? Oh, there we go. So we'll just have like a long strip of paintings. So just kind of like wedged in between just to kind of create... Okay, not bad. How about some of these? One of them. One of them. Not looking bad at all. That looks pretty good. I like it. So just loads of posters, maybe advertisements, whatever it might be. Whoops. We could even add some fake light in. We could add some light in here. We could do that all over the place actually if we wanted to. We could add, like just chunk out some of the structure of the building, and we can just add a little bit of glass in there. I don't think that looks bad actually. I kind of like that. So for the most part, I mean, we're pretty much done. What are some of the things that we're missing? We need a lot of socks, and we need a lot of carpet to kind of like fill in. Fill in all of that stuff. So, if I get rid of all of this stuff, this will already have been in the... I don't think I'll ever need any of this again. This will have been in the in the item list, but... basically, what we have to do is just grab all sorts of preferably nicer color carpets than I've kind of grabbed. But the general gist is kind of like we'll be using carpets to kind of like fill in this point here. And I grabbed some really horrible colors carpet actually. Like I don't want grey. Grey's not fun. How about this? There we go. So we'll fill in kind of like... we'll fill in these pits here, so like we'll fill that pit in that way, and we will also fill this pit in this way, just to kind of give you a representation of what it's going to look like. I don't want to do it all because it requires a little bit more thought than just kind of like just that. So we'll need our carpets to do those things. What else do we need to do? We also need a lot of different socks. So kind of like this, and we're just going to fill all of these up. Preferably we don't want to color match, so here, so what would we could place diamond here, there's no sort of leather looking ones there, and there's no gold ones there, so we can just kind of like match against some colors and stuff, kind of like this. Can have some socks. I mean, if you wanted to, you could even have kind of like a couple of pairs laying around just like on here. If you wanted to, it doesn't really matter if you don't. You could add some rugs in here too. But ladies and gentlemen, other than adding all of the boots and stuff, and other than filling this in, the last little thing that I want to do is I want to make the ceiling. So to make the ceiling is basically going to just require some glass blocks, and we're going to be using the black glass, and we're going to be using, we'll probably need to kind of like shape it, we'll need some purple concrete and some yellow concrete, and I think that the best thing to do is pretty much just to, it's going to be to kind of like just take pieces out of the roof and just add some glass in there. So kind of like here, like right above the entrance, I'm kind of leaving a space of 2 kind of like all the way around the inside of the like entrance area here, like this. And you're just going to have to kind of like mess about and play about with what you think looks good. So from the top, you can't really figure it out. You kind of have to do it from the inside. But basically, like I said, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of measure out and make sure that there's like a 2-block space all the way around the top, so it looks like it's got some good framing in there. And then I'm just going to add some black glass block. I don't think I'm going to make it much more complicated than that. In the original, I did a thing where I put like quartz slabs around. But I don't like how that original roof looks. I'd rather have a simpler look. The same thing for here. So I like the idea of having a strip of glass taken out, like up the middle of the walkway here. So the glass is going to be it just wants to be placed kind of like in an intelligent manner, like, so it wants to kind of like, the glass kind of like wants to be kept separate like this. We've got 2 rows away. See, here's the thing, so like we can't go much further here, so because we have 2 rows on that side, I like the idea of just having like 2 rows on this side of yellow concrete. Not absolutely everything has to be filled in like this. And there we go, and then that provides quite a lot of nice natural light. The same can be done for each individual part, although I don't know how much more of it. I have to do some more up here, of course. So I guess we'll leave a gap of 1 here, and keeping up with kind of like the middle. We actually get a lot of light just from having the middle taken out. So I think, did I just leave like a gap of 1 on that side? And then that works quite nicely. There we go. We actually get quite a lot of light just from the center pathway being skylights. So I don't think that we have to try too hard to do it elsewhere. I think that we might actually natural light the rest of the place. We can even do that in kind of like a sneakier way. So instead of having like somewhat what I might refer to as kind of like ugly torches, if we have kind of just like a couple of lanterns kind of like spread throughout the place instead. I know that it might look a little bit goofy, I don't know, but just having some lanterns to keep things lit instead of having to have like a million torches and having to have the entire roof made out of glass, I think would look a little bit better. So I think I'm gonna try and go with the lanterns just because they look a little bit classier, really. It just looks a little bit nicer. It's a little bit less intrusive than the torch. Like there's just something about the torch that I'm just not a massive fan of for some reason, you know. I think that actually keeps things quite nice and bright. I think that the area is probably about bright enough. If you wanted to, you can add, say, like here, where I do notice there is a bit of a lull in. Oh, okay. Okay, that doesn't work. There's yellow concrete behind there. What about here? Okay, there we go, that works. So, we can add some natural light in the form of windows and stuff as well, so like wherever we feel as though we can get it. But I think what I'm going to do is, I think I'm just going to leave it at that. Like, the entrance is nice and lit, that's nice, and we have the glass running up the center of the roof. If we wanted to, we could add some more patches like up here. The only place that I probably would add it is up here, because the ceiling's so high and you're not going to get close to it. But everywhere else, I don't really want it. So I think that that's all we're going to do for the ceiling. I'm going to get rid of all of the torches and I'm going to see how it looks. And then if that looks pretty good, then we'll finish adding all of the carpets and then we'll kind of be done. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have just finished doing exactly what I talked about. I have got rid of all the torches and I've placed a lot of lanterns everywhere. I really wish that I didn't have to have any sort of like external light sources other than actual daylight to keep this place lit, but lanterns I do find are a little bit nicer, a little bit classier than torches. I've filled in all of the kind of like the jumping areas with different colours of carpet, just like a whole mix match of different colours, so like there and also there as well. And in doing that, I mean, we've kind of like done everything, ladies and gentlemen. There's nothing that has left to be done other than to just kind of like jump around and enjoy your trampoline park. So that's it. I do hope that you guys have enjoyed this tutorial. If you have enjoyed it, please do remember to subscribe to the channel and click the little bell next to the subscription button. That'll ensure that you get all my videos sent directly to your sub box. If you would like to check out anything else by me, check out the card system description below the top of the comment section for all of my other stuff. And that's pretty much everything, ladies and gentlemen. I've been working on all sorts of different things for the channel, whether it be city builds or huge modern houses. I've kind of been building at the moment, but a lot of city builds, lots and lots of city builds, as you can see. All that, card system description below, top of the comment section, the city builds playlist, how to build a city, one of my favorite things to do on the channel at the moment. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I love you all very much. Have a bouncing good time. I don't know. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.